All right, we're ready to go.
Okay, good morning. Hi, Robin Conlin, Rich here. So we're done. Here's the summary for 1859 St. Lucia. The main things we were talking about was that the water staining along the lower walls, particularly in the back and back left, and we'll go talk about that. Out front here, your gas meter's fine. Electric panel on the left side of the garage, just fine. Good, decent brand panel, copper wiring. Concrete tile roof. Now the roof does have some loose tiles up where the roof meets the wall. Some of those head tiles, which you can't nail, so it's kind of hard to secure. Some of those have slipped down. So those should be secured, both front and back of house. Let's see. Got fire sprinklers. We'll talk about those inside. And this is all pretty typical stuff. Sometimes the drain pipes are exposed, set near the edge of the slab. That's your temperature pressure relief from the water heater. Again, some of the staining from the lack of rain gutters. Garage, just some easy stuff. The carpeting should come off the garage floor. You can't have a flammable material on a garage floor. Vehicle parking, self-closer hinges need some replacement. The garage door is a sectional door. It's got a couple little rips, but I don't think they're in a place where it would really affect the structural strength of the door. It does reverse with the beams, needs some adjustment on the motor to reverse with the force. You got a nice new water shut-off valve, 1-inch supply, water pressure regulator, 80 pounds per square inch, that's acceptable. This should be patched. This is actually part of the firewall, and because we're close to the neighbors, so there's property line fire considerations too, so that should be patched. We have a newer water heater, 40 gallon. Looks like 2010 date. No issues really. Could really use some better strapping so it doesn't go side to side. And the drip pan would be recommended, but essentially good. Your laundry, I would replace these valves when you bring your machines in. This one's dripping just ever so slightly. They just, you go to turn them and they're going to leak, so might as well replace them. You have the choice for gas or electric on the clothes dryer. The lint exhaust is way to the right. That's good. Now we're going to talk about fire sprinklers. So these sprinklers are okay. The ones in the garage are a different type than they use on the interior. So they have these Omega sprinklers inside. They thought they looked a little nicer, but they've been found to be problematic, and I think Richard talked to you about that last week. Here's one here. All the interior ones are in living rooms, bedrooms, closets, things like that. Let's see, fireplace in the living room here. This is actually an ornamental gas appliance. It's not intended to be used with wood or solid fuel. It has a little igniter here. It's supposed to have a ceramic log set. There's no damper. You don't ever close the flue. It's always open. You should be able to hit the switch. Have this just like a furnace. It starts up, lights the burner, and you have a gas flame. So it's not responding, so it needs some repair. I think it may be just blocked with wood ash or debris or something. Doors and windows are by and large pretty good. I was impressed with the aluminum frame dual pane windows. I didn't see any fog windows. They all seemed to lock and function. That's nice. Sliding glass doors, a little rougher. They're essentially in good condition, but the rollers are shot. This one's very difficult to move. It should be repairable. Kitchen. Cabinet's decent. Microwave essentially is operable. It's got a little crack here. It doesn't affect its performance though. Exhaust fan to the exterior, fine. Gas range oven, good. Just needs an anti-tip. Dishwasher's fine. Not too bad inside at all. Little tiny bits of corrosion, but I think it's still usable. Sink, you probably need a new faucet. Very corroded in the back. It's going to let water leak through, so this should be replaced. Disposal's fine. Water shut-off valves all around and under sink areas are pretty corroded. These guys, these angle stops, I'd have the plumber come in and change them all. Change the laundry valves, all the angle stops. That way, if anybody ever needs to turn off the water at a fixture, you can do it. Exterior. Okay, so outside, right? So just 20-some years of roof dripping will stain a house like this. So as you always hear me say, rain gutters are very important, and in this case, I would put them at both second and first story roofs. Generally, the patio slopes away from the house. There are portions right next, and this is a high spot. So just a little bit slopes toward the house. This is north, that's south. Most of the weather comes from that direction, blowing this way. I really think if you can get gutters on the roof edges, you ought to be able to protect the walls from getting wet. I mean, it's hard to call for you guys to tear out the patios. I think the rain gutters will do it. I think, while this little portion here is not great that slopes this way, it's still by and large going this way. You've got some drains, one over there, here. This area, I know it's trouble with where's the water going to go. I really think that someone had the idea to put, I guess that's a drain of some sort, but you could almost dig a shallow trench and have one of those concrete leader blocks heading that way and just relieve this, because you don't really want to have water by your garage. Okay, you've got heat and AC at the house. 4-ton AC, 80,000 BTU furnace in the attic. This is due to the roof splash. Here's what's happened. The flanges are quite corroded. The machine did respond. It did remove the heat from the air and responded real well, actually. Although I don't know how much longer it's going to last, so you might consider a home warranty policy in case it fails. And technically, it's near the end of its service life. They usually say about 20 years on a heating and cooling system. They'll last much longer with good maintenance.